The Canva video editor is an awesome option when it comes to video editing software. In this video, we'll run through a complete updated Canva video editing tutorial for beginners so you can learn how to use Canva quickly and easily. Okay, so here we are over at Canva. I've created a free account, I've logged in, and this is what you should be seeing too. Today we want to work on a video edit, so click on this video icon over here. As you can see, Canva just spoiled you with all these different templates. You've got Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, video collages, all these pre-made templates which you can easily click on and edit to your liking. But what I suggest for starting off and getting used to the fundamentals with video on Canva, click right there and get started. Okay, so let's talk about the Canva video editing interface. Over here, you'll see all the templates and all the different options you've got there. Some are free, some are pro, and you have to pay for those, obviously. But they've got a huge range, and that is what is always really cool about Canva. This main area here is where you'll be editing your video. We call this the canvas, and that is where you'll see your video and all the changes you'll get to make to it. Down below is traditionally called the video timeline, and that is where you can put all your different clips, you can trim them, you can cut them, you can start to really build a narrative down there. We've also got the menu bar up the top here. This will change as you edit, and you'll see some of the functionality and different tools you get to use up there as well. Okay, first up, we want to bring in our footage so we can play with something, so we can edit with something and make something awesome. You go over here to the uploads, you click on the videos, and I've already uploaded some different material over here, as you can see. But what you do is just click on upload files, and there it gives you access straight away to your hard drive and all your videos. You can also click here on these three dots. It gives you options to Google Drive, Dropbox, Facebook, and Instagram. So I'm going to grab my main footage here and I'm going to put it in here. It automatically plonks it right there, and it actually starts to autoplay as well. So you can just pause it if you want to stop that. As you can see, it's created the footage there down there on the timeline, and you can scroll sideways to see the full length of the clip. You can also zoom in and out like this on your canvas, and that just gives you some better perspective of what you're working with. You can also click on this zoom page down here. That will actually zoom in and out on your timeline there. So you can keep it all in the one section, or you can really get granular and zoom into specific seconds or frames. So now that we've got our primary footage in, let's go ahead and remove any of the bad takes and mistakes and any of the stuff that we don't want to have in our video. We're going to hit play and watch through and listen to our footage and work out the bits we want to remove. We can grab this little triangle here and just scrub along and find the spot, which can be a lot quicker than just watching it all the way through. Now, if this is indeed the place where I want to start the video, I simply right click, split page, there we have it. It's cut my main clip into two clips. If this is all just bad takes or me getting ready for the shoot, as you can see, it is hands in front of the lens. We don't want any of that. That looks terrible. Let's just go ahead and hit delete. Gone. And what you want to do after you make edits like that is just always play it back to see if you're happy with the outcome. Hello and welcome. There's a little bit of a pause there. So what we can do is use the trimming function. And if you hover your mouse just at the beginning of the clip, you'll see that arrow pop up and you can just simply move it along. Let's play it back.
Hello and welcome to Film.
Probably trimmed that a little bit too much, so I'm going to move it back a touch more.
Hello and welcome
Perfect.
to Filmmaking.
Love it. Okay, so what we want to do now is tidy up the end part. For this one, I'm going to click on our timeline here. I'm going to click zoom page and I'm going to zoom right in. And again, we want to either find the place where I finish the video by scrubbing across here.
To choose. And I'm here to prove that it definitely is.
Excellent. That's exactly where I want it to be trimmed. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to hit split page, and I'm going to get rid of this one that I don't want. Now, in terms of removing any bad takes inside your footage, we just follow the same process. We can either play through our video and find these sections, or we can grab this arrow, we can drag it backwards to where it looks like I'm not talking. So what we're left now is with our primary content and the perfect piece to camera that I want to use for my edit. Okay, so now you've gone through and you've edited down your primary footage. The next step is to bring in any B-roll or overlay footage. Now, this is one thing with Canva that is a little bit more complicated because they don't let you layer video clips on top of each other, which is normal for other editing software. I'm hoping that's a feature that they bring in soon, but there is a workaround, so don't worry. I can show you how to do it. So after my little intro piece here, I go on to talk about coffee. And I want to show off some of my beautiful B-roll footage here where, you guessed it, I've got some vision of someone drinking coffee. So what we do is simply drag our B-roll footage onto our canvas here. Boom, there it is. Next, you want to go up to your pair of scissors up here. Click on there and find the section that you want to use. If I scroll along, hey, there we go. There is a bearded man drinking
other
coffee.
places around the world.
And we're gonna trim it right down till the end of the sip. There we go. Nice. I'm so happy with that trimming. I'm gonna hit done. So now, as you can see, our B-roll footage is sitting on top of my main primary footage on the timeline. What we wanna do is make this cover my primary footage entirely so that I just have my pretty voice underneath it talking about coffee whilst we have complimentary B-roll vision of the man drinking coffee.
Other places around the world, but
The problem is you can hear both audio. There is audio on my B-roll and there's audio on my clip underneath. So what you want to do is click on the B-roll footage, if it does have audio, that is, and you can just go up here, click on the volume and click mute. Let's run that back.
I'm Tom Rollins, and over the past decade,
Okay, secret's out. I wasn't talking about coffee, but you get the idea. My audio is underneath the B-roll footage. The problem we now have is that our clip will keep looping after the first sip. It just does that. It puts the B-roll in and it will loop continuously over the amount of time you've got underneath it. All we want is one sip. We don't want continuous sips. So we wait till the looping spot, there it is clearly. We find that spot, we right click, we split it. So we've got one beautiful sip there. On this second section, we don't want continued sipping. So we click on the clip on the canvas, hit delete, and it's back to pretty old me talking about coffee. Now, you don't have to make your footage full screen like I have here. You can work with, that picture-in-picture kind of look and bring it down like so and move it wherever you like on screen, which can be quite effective. But in order to keep the audio from your background video while you're showing footage, then you have to do it the way that I just showed you. So you want to go through your video now, add in any B-roll where you feel necessary, and make your video edit look as awesome as it possibly can. Okay, so now you've got your B-roll in, the next step is to add in any titles or text you want in your videos. This is something that Canva does really well. They've got loads of presets and everything is built in here to help you create some amazing looking titles. So we're gonna come over here to text and we can just add basic text such as a heading or a subheading. Or if we scroll down, there's loads of templates and options here. So as you can see here, some of these have this little crown that says Pro. That is on the paid plan. You can only use those if you pay up, but the good news is there are lots of free options as well. One thing you'll need to note that is if I just go ahead and put on this text like so, it's going to add it across the entire clip that I was on just here. If you only want your title to show up for a small amount of time, we've got to follow a pretty similar process to what we just went through with the B-roll footage. And we need to mark out an area or cut a clip where that title is going to be shown. So I'm going to press play on our video here, and you can see that I'm doing a little bit of an intro, and this would be a good place to put my name. The thing is, I don't want the title to be on the entire 4.2 seconds. It would be cool if it just comes on 1 second after the video begins. Split the clips and I've got 3.2 seconds to work with over here where we can put on my name title. So now we're going to come over to the text and we're going to drag it onto our project, and from here we can customize it, change the color, do all sorts of things to make it look exactly how we want. I don't want my name to be action, I want it to be my name. So I'm going to put it on like that. Obviously it's huge at the moment, we don't want that. Let's go boom. Let's move it down here like so. Let's change the color. Let's make it a bit more primal vibes going on. Let's change the font over here. Lots of different options to choose from, and effects. I want a bit of background on that, and you can work with it and play with it like so. I can have it on 2 lines, stretch that, have it on 1. Lots of different options. We can also give the text a background. So perhaps we change the text to white and then we can find a background, and we can head over to elements and add in a shape like so. Again, we can resize this to fit, and we can change the background color. Let's give myself a little bit more breathing room. Now, as you can see, we've got a basic title there, and now we can even get fancier than that. We can make it look extra professional by animating it. So if we select our text like so, we can go up to animate up here. And from there, you've got all these different options, pan, wipe, breathe. Ooh, breathe, I like that. I'm going with breathe. So now I've got breathe in there. We can also even do that to our background. We can rise and breathe. That sounds like me. Rise and breathe. There we go. And now if we go back to our timeline, we've got 1 second and then our title comes off. And then we've even got it removing. So that is super cool. As you can see, my title came on and off. You can choose for it to just come on and then remain on enter, or on exit, or on both. I've got it on both because I just love animation that much. Okay, so now we've got our title. Now we're going to add in any effects or transitions into our clips to really spice up this edit. Now you can see between all of our clips down here, if you just hover, you've got some options. You can add a page like that, and you can put on whatever you like onto that page, or you can add in a transition, as you can see here. So if I click on that, I've got all these different options. I can do a dissolve, I can do a slide, circle white, color white, line white, lots of different options there. Although all these transitions look very cool, I must admit that I don't use them as a video editor that often. I do much prefer either a hard cut, or if we've got two pieces to camera here cut or jutting up against each other, what you can do to make it a little bit more seamless is simply make the second one a little larger so that when you play them together, it almost looks like you've got a different camera, slightly more zoomed in option. And let's have a look at that.
These days,
it just breaks it up nicely. So that is how I often transition, and you might like to do that too. But please, by all means, if you want to have some fun with these transitions, then go for it. That is kind of cool. Another video effect which can be handy when you're in the edit, especially with your B-roll footage, is speeding up or slowing down your footage. So to do that, you simply click on the footage, you go to playback, and you can speed up or slow down. Speed it up, move this slider to there, and it can double the speed, or to slow down, slide it the other way. And as you can see, you can slow your footage down. I'm gonna leave it at 1. So if you come over here on the audio, there's a lot of different music that is inside of Canva. You can see some of it is paid on the Pro plan, and some you'll find as well will be free. If you hit all and you dig deep, you will find some free options as well. For me personally, where I go for my music so that I have no licensing issues is to Artlist and to Epidemic Sound. So I'm gonna go ahead and use one of the audio tracks that I've already uploaded. And to do that, you go over here, click Uploads, and there is my song already uploaded and sitting in the audio section. But if you don't have any, you can click Upload Files here and locate your music track that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and click and drag my song onto the timeline like so. And it'll place your track exactly where your playback head starts. So now you've got your music in there, it's a really good idea just to play through and see how it sounds. You might find that you're adjusting any of the cuts to line up with the beat, moving it along like so. I can also show you a little later on of how that syncs with Beat Sync, which is a AI feature Canva has introduced. The next step then is to adjust your volume levels. This is something that Canva does a pretty good job of getting your primary footage to that right volume level. But if you do find it needs adjusting, you can click on the individual clip and then just make sure that you're clicked on this area as well on the clip, and then go to volume and then adjust accordingly. So once you're happy with the volume levels on your primary footage, which as I said, in most cases it's going to be totally fine, you can then select your music track, which is showing as a skinny little purple line down here. Click on that, which means our music track is now selected. Come up the top here to the volume bar and then adjust accordingly. Now, for us with most of our video edits, when we do have music playing behind them, we're normally starting at around between 20 and 30% as a kind of a starting point. Playing it back and seeing what it sounds like is really important. That gives you the best indication of making sure that it's not overpowering that primary footage in the main speaker. You might want to put headphones on. This will really give you a great idea of how it's sounding, and it'll leave you with an end product that's nicely balanced and really easy to listen to. Now, one thing any good editor will do right before they export their video out is color correct. They'll go through their clips and they'll make sure that the color is as good as it can be, and the contrast, brightness, all of those fine details. So let me show you how to do that. First, you click on the clip you want to color correct. Make sure it's selected in the canvas. Go to Edit Video, click on this section here, Adjust. And from there, you can adjust the warmth. You can make it really warm or a little bit cooler. You can adjust the tint, though that is very touchy, so be careful with that one. The brightness, contrast, highlights, shadows, fade. You get the picture. You can also put on some pretty cool effects. Now the filters aren't bad. Sometimes they can be over the top, but let's check it out on one of my B-roll clips here, which is a pretty good example of how it can work. So we've got a nice tight shot there, and let's just go through them and see what they can look like. Again, make sure your video is selected in the canvas. And I'm just scrolling through them and you should start to see the differences. That one looks a bit over the top. That one is also pretty full on. If we click on see all, we can see the huge range of different sort of filters they've got. And you can go for that real Instagram-y type vintage look or even black and white. So that's the core editing functionality here in Canva. But one of the other power areas of Canva is some of the templates and graphics and things that it lets you create that you can use in your videos as well. So let's say you want to add in a video intro between where I start the video and between where I actually get into the content of the video. So we can hit the little plus button here, and that adds this blank page between the two clips. Then if we come up the top two templates in the design tab here, and let's search for intro. And here you can see YouTube intros, perfect. And by the way, we have a full dedicated video on how to create an intro animation here in Canva, and another tool that we recommend is Place It. I'll link that one up in the cards. I'm not going to run through all of that here, but you can literally grab one of these templates. Let's grab this one, drag it onto the canvas here. And again, it's fully customizable. So for this video, I'm going to take that back out. But note that it's not just video intros. If we come up here and type YouTube, if I could spell correctly, YouTube end screen, you can see they've got a whole lot of options here as well for end screens. Let's just click on this one, looks pretty funky. Something like this one here, which we could drag down to the end of our video. And again, it's animated, pointing to, subscribe or all the other different videos that you'll have on your channel. And you can fully customize all of that up if you like. Now for this tutorial, I'm just going to remove that, click on that and just hit delete. Awesome, now your video is done. Let's go ahead and save it out. Want to come up here to this share button, and then you click on download. You want to have MP4 video selected, and then just hit the download button and your video is going to save out and it lets you download it to your computer. Canva continue to update and add new tools and functions to their platform, and I want to run you through a few of those right now. One that I'm loving at the moment is Beat Sync. Let me show you how that works. So we'll start off with a blank video, and I'm just going to put some of my pre-uploaded videos into the timeline just here. And I'm going to make them all about 5.5 seconds long, just so that it is neat and tidy. And I guess the AI can recognize and work with what we've got down there. Okay, so I've got my video clips down here on the timeline, as you can see. Next thing we do is simply head over to audio. I personally choose a lot of my music from Artlist, and I've uploaded one of the tracks there. I'm just going to place it onto my timeline, and you can see it's placed underneath the videos right there. Now, all we have to do is head up to this button here called Beat Sync, click on that. Now there's a couple of options to work with here. On the free version, you can click display beat markers, and that will indicate exactly where the beat markers are. And you can manually just trim your clips so that they cut to the markers and cut to the beat that way. It's a really effective way, and that works just as well. Over here on the left, you'll see this button here, Sync Now. You'll see the crown, which means it is a paid feature. You click here and it automatically moves the clips to the beat. Pretty awesome. Let's see how good it does sound. Not bad. It's pretty spot on, which is amazing function really, considering it's just a click of the button. Another awesome feature that Canva now has available is the one-click video background remover. Let me show you how that works. First, you'll need two videos to work with. You'll need your background and you'll need the shot you want to go on top. So in this instance, I want it to be this shot here. Now, it does help if the video you're removing the background of is nice and simple like this one. I've got a nice white background, and that is really where the effect works best. The busier it is, the harder the AI is going to have to work to remove the background. If the background is really well lit, again, it will be even easier for the function to work. So let me show you how effective it is. So I've got my top video there, Then you head up to the Edit Video button on your toolbar. From the side panel, click Background Remover, again, a paid feature. Wait for it to process, which really isn't long, and there you have it. It's automatically removed the background. And if I play it from our timeline down here, you'll see both clips moving, and you'll see that it's pretty good. You'll see a little bit of the background is stuck to the fingers here and a little bit under the camera, but all in all, it's pretty solid. You can also adjust some of the features up here, and you can see there I can adjust the brightness, the contrast, the highlights. I can bring up shadows and I can fade, and that will help to blend your top video with your bottom video if needed. Now that you know how to edit in Canva, to help you speed up your editing in any video editing software or app, you can grab our free video editing guide linked on screen. And don't forget to check out all the resources we have for you linked in the description below, including a link to my channel too if you want to check that out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.